Welcome back, everybody. Now for today's video, I've got kind of a weird one. Not only is it a weird gadget, but it's also another egg gadget, as if I haven't done enough of those already. But whereas most egg gadgets at least pretend to have some sort of purpose, this one doesn't. It's a device that makes cube-shaped hard-boiled eggs. Let's first take a look back at the unboxing and see how that went. I paid $11.97 for this. It's also an Amazon's choice. Now the claims are that this creates a square hard-boiled egg in about 15 to 20 minutes. Just place a warm, peeled hard-boiled egg inside, stick in the fridge, and get a square egg. People online who liked it, a lot of people said they remember doing this decades ago, and it kind of brings back a nostalgic feeling. A lot of people love the way the square eggs turn out. A few cons on there. Some people said it's hard to use, while others say making one at a time is kind of a slow process. So let's get started and see how it works. Now a few notes before I get started. Now first of all, what it produces is technically a cube-shaped egg, but cubing is kind of a culinary term for cutting things in a small cube, so a lot of people say square egg. I might use the term interchangeably. In fact, they use both terms on their packaging. Next up, the way you're supposed to use this is you're supposed to take a warm peeled hard-boiled egg, put it in the unit, turn the crank, and put it in the fridge for about 15 to 20 minutes. For most of the test, I used large eggs. I did try medium eggs. They didn't work out as well because they were too small, and I'll show that at the end. But let's get to my test and see how they went. All right, time for the first test. I've got a brand new warm hard-boiled egg, placing it in the unit itself. Oh, it's kind of a tight squeeze. Kind of a tight squeeze. Now we place, I guess you'd call that a plunger of some sort on there. Now we're going to screw it in place. You can kind of see the egg smashing up against the side there. Interesting. Wow, look at that. It's completely square. That's what I got. That's very interesting looking. Now let's go throw this in the fridge and see how it looks in about 15-20 minutes. I'm kind of excited about this. All right, here we go. While I'm waiting for that first one thing that's kind of obvious is that usually when you make a batch of hard-boiled eggs, you do them all at the same time. You put them in the boiling water, then you put them in the ice bath, then you peel them. Well, in this case, you have to wait 15 minutes. Most of the ones that come out of the pot of water are going to cool off, so I'm not sure how you would do a whole bunch of those. Someone on Amazon listed a technique for doing that. I might try that after this first egg to see if it comes out. So I got to wait 15 minutes and see how it looks. All right, here we go. Let's see how it looks. I really don't know what to expect here. All right, so you're supposed to push this bottom outward like that, and oh, we've got a perfectly square egg. Wow, that is insane. Look at that. Look at that. That's insane. Look at that. Crazy. All right, I kind of want to cut this one open. It looks so nice. I kind of want to try another one first. So let me try one more. I got another warm one here. Kind of gently put it in there. I kind of put the plunger in place here and just squish it. All right, there it is. It's another square. I'm going to put this one in the fridge as well. I just don't want to cut this open. It looks so perfect. I'll cut open one of my beautiful creations a little bit later, but I'm going to try this one first and see how it goes. All right, the second one is out of the fridge. Let's take a look here. Now, this one was actually in there for about an hour, so I had something to do. So let's see if there's much difference here. Look at that. That is a beautiful square egg. Look at, wow. I mean, that is absolutely perfectly square. It came out beautiful. It also is nice when you don't have any pock marks in there from the peeling process, which I didn't in this one. So there's good news and bad news at this point. The good news is that it does work. It's got a perfectly square egg. That's kind of cool. The bad news is that doing one at a time, 15 to 20 minutes a piece, that's not practical. Fortunately, there's a comment on Amazon. It's a 12-year-old comment, by the way, by someone named Banana, and they stated that there's an assembly line method that would speed up the process. You can do them basically on a non-stop basis, one at a time. So I'm going to try the banana technique next and see if I can do 4 eggs in a row and hopefully come up with them in a much shorter time than 20 minutes. I've got some eggs in the stove right now. When they're done, I'm going to come in here and get started. All right, here we go. I've got 4 eggs right off the stove. Take the first one here. I'm going to put it in the ice bath for just a few seconds to cool it off so I can touch it. Now we got to peel it. All right, the first egg is peeled. All right, squished into a square. I'm going to put the entire thing in this water. While this one is cooling off in here, I'm going to peel the second one. I love when eggs are easy to peel like this. Look at this. Getting them that easy to peel is there's kind of a technique to that. I'll tell you about that at the end. But the first one, they should be done now. Let's take it out of here. And now what Banana says to do next is to take this one out and put the egg directly in the water. Now number 2 is going in the device itself. It feels chaotic, but I got a handle on it. All right, so I'm preparing the second one. I'm getting egg juice just everywhere in here. I'm just getting egg juice everywhere. All right, that's screwed in there. Number 2 is going in here. Now I'm going to peel number 3. This one's peeling nice and easily. Look at this, just coming right off. Wow. There is something very satisfying about an egg that peels that easily. And look how nice that is. Not a single pock mark on there. All right, so number 1 comes out of here. It's not perfectly square, but it's kind of square. Number 2 is going to come out of the unit itself, and number 3 is going to go into the unit. That's kind of the rotation. So here we go. All right, so number 2 is still warm. It's dropping into the ice water. Number 3 is going into the cuber itself. There we go. And I'm still getting egg juice everywhere. All right, last one. All right, I'm taking number 2 out. Number 2 looks pretty good. Number 3 is going to get dumped right in the water itself. And number 4 is going into the cuber. All right, one thing I'm noticing is this technique kind of works, but it's not 100%. Check this out. I'm getting some bulges here, so it's not perfectly square. Not bad, but if you really want it perfect, you gotta leave it in the fridge, I think. This is just kind of like a down and dirty quick technique. Number 3 is looking pretty good. I'm gonna leave number 4 in there a little bit longer since there's no others behind it. All right, let me try cutting one of these open here. Just right down the center. Pretty interesting. Let me pull number 4 out of here while it's been sitting there a little longer than the rest were. Yeah, see, this one came out better because it was in the ice water longer. It came out more square than the others. How well these turn out is really going to be based on how long they stay in the cold. It seems like the number 4 came out much better than number 1 did. So let me cut these open and make some deviled eggs out of them and see how they look. All right, I think they came out pretty good. It's weird, they actually kind of line up and stack better than normal eggs would. So, and they stay upright, so I guess I can see some use for them. That is very strange. Look at that. Let's try it and see how it tastes. All right, I think it came out perfectly fine. So as far as that goes, I do think that it works. Is it necessary? Probably not. Maybe if you're making something like deviled eggs, it would be kind of cool for lining them up. I'd probably have multiple units because I'm not sure that that fast technique works as well as put them in the fridge. It's almost completely useless. I don't see much point to it. But on the other hand, it's kind of fun. It's kind of a novelty piece. You pull out an egg like this, people are going to talk. They might think you're crazy, but they're going to talk. By the way, my technique for making easy to peel hard-boiled eggs, you boil the water first and then add the eggs after it comes to a boil, lower it to simmer, let it go about 12 minutes, and then from there, after it's done, put them in an ice bath. Usually it's easy to peel at that point. Hopefully it is. I should point out, I did try a few medium eggs in here and they didn't really turn out that great. The reason being is because it didn't really form a perfect square because they were too small. So this is what I got out of there. It doesn't really look like a marshmallow. It's kind of like rounded on the sides. It's not that square. It's square-ish, but not that square. So in the end, I have to say that it does work. It may not serve much of a purpose, but it does work. And there's something oddly satisfying about a cube-shaped hard-boiled egg. I did notice that the eggs tend to bulge if you try to rush the process, so it can be tricky doing multiples unless you have multiple units. So is it necessary? I would say absolutely not. But is it fun having a cube-shaped hard-boiled egg? I would say yes. But if you've used this or a product like it, let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.